Hello and welcome to The Industry. We're at the Conde Nast College of Fashion, where we have the wonderful Dolly Jones interviewing the very articulate William Banks-Blaney.
The business you founded in 2009, is that right?
That's right.
So can you sort of give us the story pre-2009? How did it all come about?
A really great girlfriend of mine was going through that classic moment of I hadn't seen her for about a year, and I saw her and she chopped all her hair off and she'd gained 25 pounds and she thought her husband might be gay, and kind of disaster moment. And I said, let's go vintage shopping. And we went to a shop, a very famous shop in Paris, and they were so nasty to her, they made her cry. And I thought, I'm going to beat you at your own game. If you're spending money, it should be a pleasure. And that's a key part of actually our whole approach to transactions, to sales, to being in business.
I know it's a huge secret and you can't tell us, but please will you tell us?
Yeah.
How do you find the clothes? Where do these clothes come from?
I think it's kind of 50% treasure hunter, 50% private detective, and it's luck. It's luck and tenacity as much as anything. It can be granddaughters that have been given a load of things that they don't want. It can be trade auctions. It can be, we have a couple of scouts. So we have one person who scouts for us in America and one in Paris.
Have there been any particular sort of treasure hunts of note that have, got a particular pride, sort of journey to address?
A really great girlfriend of mine, I said, you've got to meet Mummy, and met this woman who greeted me at the door, half cut with a glass of brandy of an indeterminate age and a couple of facelifts in. And I immediately thought, God, I love you already, I don't care about the clothes. And it was this kind of ramshackle house. And I opened up the doors and it was 17 pieces of the Creuset Couture collection from 1967, 1968. Tissued, perfect condition. And she designed colour referencing for couture, and she spent every penny that she earned in the business because she really loved clothes. So that was my favourite moment, because it was amazing fashion and a really amazing woman, and a direct tale of her saying, yes, I had that dress made by Creuset in 1968, and I wore it to meet, Queen Sophia of Spain, and I got hammered with Audrey Hepburn afterwards. So,
God.
Job done. Yeah.
What is it about vintage, do you think, that really grabs people?
I think the sense that we always add labels to a dress that say discovered by William Vintage. And I think it's that idea that you've discovered it. You haven't read about it. You haven't seen a picture of it necessarily in a magazine. It's the idea that it's your treasure hunt. I think it's the thing that maybe there's one somewhere else, but it's actually yours, and it spoke to you because of the day you're in, because of where your head was at and the colour that it was and how it felt putting it on and how the fabric felt slightly different. I think it's that whole process. I don't think it's one thing, but I think it's the idea of it being a discovery and it immediately feeling yours somehow. I think vintage, you kind of think, God, I love that dress. I'm gonna own that.
It's a foreverness.
Yes, it's a kind of really proprietarial thing.
And you just launched recently your own label for the first time.
Yeah.
How did that feel? I mean, how did it come about?
It came about from a lot of our customers who we would say, we'd have that 60s Galanos, or we'd have that Mark Bone for Dior 67 dress, and it would be the wrong size, have customers saying, God, if there's something, anything like that in a size 10 in a midnight blue. We kept hearing that a lot, and we've often thought about that idea of really quite a small collection, which isn't seasonally led, it's quite timeless, that works with things you already have, whether that's with vintage or with contemporary. For our client, who is primarily 35 to 55, well-educated, probably earns her own money, and is a little bit bored, or can miss out those linking pieces, that actually help you pull something together. So, it's that kind of, late 60s, quite couture-y, touch of Verushka, bit of rock star, but impeccable. Impeccable is a word I really love, because I think it doesn't matter which end of the spectrum you're at or what your budget is. You want to look, you want to look good for who you are and what age you're at and what size you're at. It's whether you're a 00 or a 24, whether you're spending £200 or £20,000.
My final question before we open out to the floor, I'm wondering what's the sort of future for you and for the business as well?
I love finding and selling dresses. I love vintage. This next year we're currently looking for a new London store. We are going to launch a very exciting new web platform hopefully by spring, which will be a very, very different vintage shopping, a very different shopping experience, and very much so for vintage. Those are our two really key projects for the next year. Now it's, this next year is actually about our online presence and our physical presence.
I'm a student here in the Conde Nast school, so we are studying the business and marketing now, so that's why I want to ask you, as a founder of the high-end luxury vintage shop, how are you going to promote your new shop?
I think it's part of that identity of working out who our customer is or who they could be and how best to access them. I think that's what it's always about. So some of our clients love Instagram, and some super cool, you know, fashion savvy chicks actually really love picking up country life from their doctor's office at Harley Street.
A lot of the dresses are quite petite, aren't they?
I never, ever think about what size something is when I buy it. It doesn't even occur to me, because I've got great girlfriends who are, you know, 17-inch waists, and some of them who've probably got 17-inch calves, you know, and it's what it should be.